The curse of the nightmare has awakened. Wake up! The ancient power is inside. The curse takes hold. Shadows loom and gaze. The air is thick with tension. Restless, hungry, craving its release.
You wake up in a dream that kills. Every step forward rewrites what you are and what hunts you. But when your shadow turns to fight back, you realize the real monster might be you. The world around you shifts, the darkness is suffocating, but you're no longer afraid. The nightmare spell has settled into you, and with it comes a new sense of power. You can feel it swirling inside, alive, ready to be harnessed. It's a dangerous feeling, but you can't help but feel a rush. Your eyes snap open, the surroundings unfamiliar. You're lying on the cold, hard ground, but the pain you expect never comes. The spell has already started its work. Your body feels different, stronger, the weight of something new pressing down on you. You sit up, the world spinning briefly, but your senses clear as quickly as they clouded. The shadows around you seem to watch, waiting for something. The tension in the air is thick, heavy, as if every corner of this new world holds a secret, a danger, a trial. You look around, you're inside a massive, darkened space, one you've never seen before. No doors, no windows, just a vast, endless stretch of darkened stone, the walls pulsing with an eerie green glow. You stand, your legs steady beneath you, but you can feel the shift in the air as you move. The magic inside you hums hungry, restless. You instinctively reach for your sword, but it's gone. Instead, your hands crackle with an energy you've never felt before, your fingers sparking with power that feels both terrifying and exhilarating. But you're not alone. From the shadows ahead, figures begin to emerge. They move quickly, too quickly. Their forms flickering like ghosts, fading and reappearing at will. They are not human. You can feel it in the air. Their presence is more like a shadow than a body. The first figure stops in front of you, its face obscured by a dark hood, its voice low and menacing. So, you finally awakened. You can hear the mocking tone in its voice, but there's no time to think. You raise your hands, magic surging through you, your body instinctively pushing the power outward. A burst of energy blasts from your palms, crashing into the figure with a force that shakes the walls. It stumbles backward, but there's no fear in its eyes, only a strange amusement. Impressive, it says, its voice colder now, its presence growing stronger. But you're not ready, not yet. The figure steps closer, and with it, the darkness presses in. Your heart pounds in your chest as you realize this is just the beginning. The nightmare has only just begun, and you have no idea how deep the shadows run. You tighten your fists, feeling the raw power inside you. You will not be consumed. Not like the others. You have to survive. You have to master it. You take a deep breath, trying to steady the chaos swirling inside you. The magic hums beneath your skin, and for a moment, it feels like it's trying to take over. Your heart races, but you can't let it. Not yet. The figures in the shadows move closer, their glowing eyes fixed on you. You feel their presence pressing in, and it's not just their physical form, it's the magic that hangs in the air, suffocating, threatening to pull you under. You can't give in, not now. One of them steps forward, its form solidifying into a grotesque shape. The creature's face is a twisted parody of a human's, its eyes glowing with the same green fire you felt earlier. It speaks, its voice low and guttural. You think you can control it? The creature's laugh is like a dagger, cold and mocking. You're just like the others, weak. And in the end, you'll fall, just like they did. The words hit harder than you expect. Your hands tremble slightly, and for a moment, you doubt yourself. Can I really control this power? But then, you remember why you're here. You have to control it. You won't let this magic take over, you'll bend it to your will. With a deep breath, you summon the power within you. The energy surges, filling your chest with heat. You push it forward, feeling it crackle in the air as your palms glow with raw energy. You focus all your thoughts into one single point, your will. The magic answers. You throw your hands forward, sending a blast of energy at the creature. It staggers back, the force of your attack shaking the ground beneath you. The creature hisses, its body shifting, merging back into the shadows. But it's not enough. More are coming. The air around you shifts, and before you can react, another figure lunges from the darkness. Its movements are too quick, too fluid. You barely manage to block its strike with your magic, but the force sends you stumbling backward. No time to hesitate. You tighten your grip on the magic, pulling it back under control. You summon the power again, this time sharper, more focused. The creature slashes, but you're ready. You sidestep, raising your hand to unleash a concentrated burst. The magic roars. The air around you distorting with energy. and with a final push, you send the creature flying into the cavern wall. It crashes to the ground, motionless. Breathing heavily, you stand tall, feeling the magic still humming beneath your skin, waiting to be used. You've won this round, but the creatures are far from gone, and you have no idea what's waiting in the next trial. The ground shakes beneath you, and the air grows thick with energy. Your senses are on high alert, but it's not enough. The darkness around you isn't just a physical barrier, it's something deeper. Something that tries to bend reality itself. You take another step forward, and the ground beneath you splits. The floor cracks open with a loud, deafening sound, and you feel the tremors run up your legs, threatening to knock you off balance. You jump back, just as the earth gives way beneath your feet. The path ahead is no longer clear. The magic in the air warps, twisting reality around you. The very walls of the academy seem to breathe, shifting with the pulse of the energy inside you. This is no longer just about strength, it's about survival. You hear a low rumble in the distance. Something huge is coming. You think you can survive this? The voice is familiar, too familiar. It's the same voice from before, taunting you, testing you. You try to ignore it, but the words reverberate in your mind. You think you're in control. This power isn't yours, it's mine. The walls tremble, and you realize this isn't just a trial. This is a test of your very will. The power inside you isn't just something to control. It's a force that will bend and break you if you don't remain strong. You take a deep breath, centering yourself. You have to survive this, and to do that, you'll need to control the magic, not just use it. You need to bend it, break it to your will, and force it to obey. A shadow looms over you, and you turn, barely in time to see a massive creature, its body made of swirling dark energy, lunging toward you. Its form flickers, shifting with every movement, but its eyes are glowing with a feral hunger. You know this is it. You raise your hands, pulling the magic around you, shaping it into a barrier of pure energy. The creature slams into it with a sickening crack, but the barrier holds. Barely. You push forward, the magic responding to your will, and with one final strike, the creature vanishes into the air, its form dissipating like smoke. But the moment you think the danger has passed, you hear another sound, another rumble. And this time, it's worse. The shadows themselves are closing in. The path ahead is clear now, but you can feel the magic inside you growing. You feel its weight, its power. It's more than you can handle. The world around you feels too small, the pressure from the magic closing in. You want to keep moving forward. You have to, but you feel it, the price of this power. Every time you use it, a piece of you slips away. The magic takes, and you're not sure if you can afford the cost. The air is thick with the pressure of it, and you know you can't just use the power without consequence. You'll break. It'll break you. But you don't have a choice. You push forward, the weight of your decisions pressing down on you. The trials ahead will demand everything from you, and you don't know if you're ready. But you have no choice. You will be ready. The ground beneath you shudders again, and you can feel the magic pulsing through you, responding to the changes in the air. It's thick now, swirling around you in the form of a violent storm. You can hear it, a low hum, a deep vibration that shakes the very fabric of this place. The walls seem to pulse in time with the rhythm, alive with the energy of this trial. You step forward cautiously, every movement calculated, but it's not enough. The voice comes again, louder this time, the words filling the air like a ringing bell. You think you're strong enough to control it? The voice is deep, mocking, the sound vibrating through your skull. The power you've unlocked is more than you can handle. You are nothing but a vessel, a conduit for something far older, far darker than you could ever understand. You grit your teeth, trying to block it out, but it's impossible. The voice sinks into your mind, pulling at your thoughts, filling you with doubt. You can feel the magic inside you shifting, restless, like it's trying to fight against you. You can't control me, the voice continues, its tone dripping with malice. You will break, you will fall, and when you do, I will claim what's mine. The walls tremble again, the shadows growing longer, darker. You can feel the pressure building, the magic threatening to break free, to take over. It's like a vice, tightening around your chest, suffocating you with its weight. This is it. This is the breaking point. But you can't give in. You won't. Not now. Not after everything you've been through. You reach for the power inside you, your hands trembling as you call it forth. The magic surges, and you pull at it, drawing it into yourself. The power is chaotic, wild, but you force it into submission, bending it to your will. You can feel it, pushing against you, testing your strength, but you hold firm. You are in control. No, you growl under your breath. I am in control. You push forward, stepping into the swirling mass of energy, and the magic responds, coiling around you like a snake. You feel the tension in the air snap, and with it, the pressure eases just slightly. The voice fades, its mocking laughter dying down as the magic inside you settles. But you know this isn't over. The trial has only just begun, and you've only scratched the surface of what's to come. The magic pulses within you, an almost living thing, breathing with every step you take. The air is thick with the power that surrounds you, every crack and crevice in the world seeming to vibrate with energy. You can feel it in your bones, gnawing at you, testing your resolve. Every step feels like a battle to stay grounded, to stay in control. You've come this far, but the journey is far from over. You can hear the whispers in the back of your mind, taunting, testing your every thought. They speak of power, of destruction, of a future where you're nothing but a puppet to the force inside you. But you won't let them win. You're weak, the whispers hiss. You cannot control this power. It will break you, just like all the others before you. Your hands shake, but you keep moving, focusing all your energy on the power coursing through your body. The voices rise, growing louder, but you can't let them distract you. You've already faced down monsters, enemies, and trials that pushed you to your limits. This is just another test, another obstacle. You stop in your tracks, closing your eyes for a moment to center yourself. The whispers fade slightly, but the pressure builds. Your heart pounds in your chest, the magic surging within you, threatening to tear you apart. You can feel the strain on your mind, the weight of the choice you have to make. Can you keep it together? Can you control this power? You raise your hands, feeling the magic swirl around you, crackling with potential. It's like a storm, swirling in the air, ready to break free. And you can feel it. It's ready to be controlled. You just have to believe. You focus on it, pushing all your will into the magic, shaping it with your thoughts. The energy pulses outward, swirling around you like a wave, crashing against the shadows that creep ever closer. But you stand firm, your power rising, and you send a blast of energy toward the darkness. The ground shakes again, but this time it's not because of the power you've unleashed. It's because you've conquered it, bent it to your will. You can feel it, like the calm after the storm. The whispers fade completely, leaving only silence in their wake. You stand victorious, but you know this isn't over. There are more trials to face, more darkness to push back, and more power to master. And now, you've taken the first step toward truly understanding what it means to control the magic that lives inside you. You stand at the edge of the abyss, the path ahead shrouded in uncertainty. The weight of the magic inside you presses down, threatening to break you under its force. You've come so far, but the journey isn't over yet. It never is. You look around, the landscape shifting and warping with every passing moment. The walls pulse with energy, the floor beneath you shaking as the magic roils and twists, alive and hungry. The very air is thick with power, and you can feel the tension building. This is no ordinary trial. The shadows begin to shift, and from them emerge more figures, their forms twisting and flickering like smoke. You can feel them before you see them, the pressure, the weight of their presence pressing against you, filling the air with a suffocating energy. They move toward you, slow and deliberate, their eyes glowing with an unsettling light. You can hear their voices, low and mocking, whispering words that eat at your resolve. You thought you could control the power, one of the figures says, its voice cold and cruel. But you're just a pawn. You've been manipulated, used. Just like the others before you. The words bite deep, striking at the heart of your insecurities. For a moment, you feel it, the doubt, the fear, the sense that maybe they're right. Maybe you can't control the magic. Maybe it will consume you, just like it's consumed so many before. But then you feel it, the spark. The burning desire to prove them wrong, to prove to yourself that you're not just another pawn. You're stronger than they think. You raise your hands, feeling the magic swirl around you like a storm, crackling with raw energy. This time, you don't hesitate. You strike. The energy erupts from your hands, a blast of raw power that lights up the darkened space. The figures stagger back, but they don't retreat. They close in, their dark presence growing stronger with every step. But you don't falter. You push the magic further, using every ounce of your will to control it, to bend it to your commands. The air crackles with energy as the figures close in, their forms shifting and flickering with every movement. But with each strike of your magic, the shadows begin to dissipate, breaking apart, retreating from the force of your power. The tension in the air lifts, and for the first time, you feel it control. You've broken the chains that bound you, and now, for the first time, you truly understand what it means to be the master of the power within you. But this victory is only temporary. There are more battles to face, more trials to overcome. And the true test is still ahead. The ground beneath you trembles once again, and you feel it, the pull of something deeper, something darker. The magic inside you surges, crackling with energy, but it's not enough to stave off the presence you feel looming just ahead. The walls of the labyrinth seem to close in, the very air thick with a suffocating pressure. Every step you take is heavier, every breath labored as you try to stay focused. You look ahead, eyes scanning the shifting shadows, and you know you're being hunted. They've found you. The sound of footsteps echoes through the hallway, closer now, faster. You turn sharply, your body instinctively reacting, but there's nothing there, just the faintest rustle of movement in the dark. You feel the magic stir, sensing the creatures closing in, but it's not enough. Not yet. And then, the first shadow appears. It's quick, a blur of dark energy that materializes out of nowhere, its eyes glowing with malevolent hunger. You can feel it, the energy radiating off it. This thing feeds on the power you've unlocked. It moves faster than you can track, slithering through the air like smoke. You reach for your sword, but it's gone. Instead, the magic swells within you, boiling to the surface. You push it forward, shaping the energy into a shield. But it's not enough to stop the creature's onslaught. The air is thick with its presence, its form flickering with every movement. It lunges at you, its claws slashing through the air, but you dodge, rolling to the side. The magic inside you surges again, and you force the power out, sending a blast of energy toward the creature. It staggers, but it doesn't fall. It's stronger than you expected. You push harder, gathering all the magic you can, focusing on the creature's form. The energy crackles as you release it in a wave, knocking the creature backward. For a moment, it seems to hesitate, its body flickering in and out of existence. Then, with a hiss, it vanishes again into the shadows. But you know it's not over. You can feel the others coming. They're everywhere, lurking in the darkness, waiting for you to slip up. The chase isn't just physical, it's a test of your resolve, your will to survive. The walls around you shift again, and the path ahead opens up, revealing a large chamber. The magic inside you hums, urging you forward, but you know you can't keep running forever. The real trial is coming. You stand in the center of the chamber, the weight of everything that's happened pressing down on you. The magic within you roils, restless and hungry. You can feel its power, its pull, urging you to use it, to unleash everything you've learned. But you also feel the cost. The price you've paid for this power, for all that you've done, is greater than you thought. The shadows seem to close in again, but this time you don't feel fear. You feel clarity. The magic, the power, is yours to control, not just to survive, but to use for something greater. The trials have pushed you to your limits, but in this moment, you know you are more than the power inside you. You've learned its language. You've bent it to your will. But the cost of the cost is rising. The creatures that have been chasing you are nothing but the beginning. The true test lies ahead. The final trial is not just about surviving the creatures or the magic. It's about mastering your own fate. A figure steps from the shadows. It's not a creature. It's a person. But their face is obscured by a dark hood. They don't move, just stand there, watching you, their presence heavy in the air. You've come far, the figure says, their voice low and filled with both respect and warning. But you haven't mastered the greatest trial yet. You don't speak, your mind racing. The figure's words cut through the air like a blade, and you can feel them testing you. But you won't back down. What's the trial? You demand, stepping forward. The figure's eyes glow from beneath the hood, their gaze piercing through you. The final trial isn't about power, it's about your will. Do you have the strength to control it, or will it control you? You feel it, the weight of their words. It's more than a question, it's the final test. You've come this far, you've unlocked powers that most couldn't even imagine. But now, the ultimate question remains. Do you control it, or will you be consumed? The chamber around you is silent, save for the soft crackling of the magic swirling through the air. The figure stands motionless, the tension between you palpable, like the calm before a storm. The question hangs in the air, unanswered, and the weight of it presses down on you like 1,000 tons. Control it, or be consumed. The words echo in your mind, the full implications of them sinking deeper than you want to admit. The magic inside you feels alive, hungry, demanding more with every beat of your heart. You can feel its pull, but you won't let it win. Not this time, not after everything you've been through. The figure's eyes lock with yours, glowing with an unsettling intensity. The air around you seems to shift, the power in the room dancing with the energy inside you. The creature, or whatever it is, doesn't speak again, but the silence is heavy, like the calm before a final, inevitable clash. I won't let it control me, you say, your voice low but filled with resolve. I will control it. For a moment, the figure doesn't move. Then, with a swift motion, they raise their hand, and the very air around you seems to scream in response. The ground trembles as a violent wind rips through the chamber, sending debris flying through the air. The magic erupts, swirling around you in a violent storm of energy. You stand your ground, focusing on the magic inside you, feeling it surge with a power, wanting to burst free. The air around you crackles with intensity. the walls shaking as the battle for control begins. But then, a shift. The wind subsides, the chamber growing eerily still. The figure's voice breaks the silence, cold and final. You have chosen, but remember, every choice has a cost. The room starts to fade, the walls crumbling, the air warping as if the very space itself is fading away. You feel the pull of the darkness surrounding you, the power inside you reaching for something deep and ancient. You step forward, your hands outstretched, and the magic inside you answers, shifting, growing, becoming something more than just raw power. It's a force, an energy that now binds you. And with that realization, something deep inside you awakens, a new awareness, a new purpose. The figure vanishes, leaving you standing alone in the empty void. Suddenly, a voice fills the air, not from the figure, but from within yourself, a whisper that echoes through your mind, a promise, a challenge. This is just the beginning. And with that, the world shatters. The darkness envelops you, but you are no longer afraid. You are ready for whatever comes next. The final trial has just begun, and you know now the true battle is not just against the forces around you, but against the power inside you, and you will rise. The darkness surrounds you, but it no longer controls you. You've walked through fire, broken bones, swallowed pride, and stood your ground when everything screamed at you to run. That was before. Now, you descend not as a victim or a wanderer, but as something sharpened, half-bloodied, half-awakened, but fully unafraid. The staircase coils down like a spine, stone ridges worn by time, but still pulsing faintly with life. Every step echoes like a heartbeat, and each echo feels louder than the last. There's no torch in your hand, yet you see. The runes carved along the walls emit a subtle glow, pale blue and almost shy, but enough to guide your path. You run your fingers along the ancient grooves and feel a charge static, electric, waiting to become something more. The scent hits first, damp air, but not moldy, metallic like blood diluted in cold water. Mixed with it is something sharper, burnt ozone, the scent of raw mana that hasn't settled in centuries. It curls around your lungs, leaving a tightness in your chest that makes your body tense before your mind can catch up. You press forward. The descent finally ends at a vaulted gate, sealed shut with 3 interlocking glyphs. As you step closer, the runes under your skin pulse in sync. They react before you do. The gate doesn't open gently, it disassembles itself, layer by layer, like stone remembering how to breathe. Inside, you face a chamber too wide for the space it occupies. This place shouldn't exist underground, but here it is, pillars rising like spears into the void, and a circle at the center lined with 7 worn symbols. You know instinctively that you've stepped into something sacred, or cursed, maybe both. You don't get time to consider. The trial begins before the voice speaks. A surge of heat hits your chest. You gasp, clutching where the spiral mark still glows beneath your shirt. The mark burns not as fire, but as memory. Every wound you've taken, every failure you tried to bury, floods back in a wave that knocks you to your knees. You brace yourself on cracked stone and scream, but not from pain. From fury. This isn't just a test, it's a purge. You feel your body pulled upward not physically, but as if something inside you is being dragged toward the surface. You grit your teeth and hold on as the circle beneath your feet activates. Symbols light up, one by one, until you're standing in the eye of a storm that only you can feel. Then, the air shifts. A figure steps out from the shadows, identical to you in every way except for the look in its eyes. No hesitation, no scars, just hunger. It smiles. You rush forward first. There's no signal, no warning, just motion. You slam into your other self, fists meeting flesh, elbows cracking bone. You fight like you have something to lose, but it fights like it already won. Every move you make, it counters. Every time you think you're ahead, it's already one step further. But then you remember this is just a version, a possibility. Impossibilities can break. You let yourself fall back, feinting weakness. It lunges in. That's when you twist, redirect the force, and drive your knee into its ribs. You feel something give way. It snarls. You don't stop. You tackle it down, fists raining like iron until the body crumbles beneath you, dissolving into smoke and regret. You barely get a breath before the next phase begins. A second figure walks forward. This one wears your face too, but older and colder. Robes instead of armor, eyes too calm. It speaks with your voice, but it says the one thing you never want to hear. What if you're not enough? You hesitate. And that's when it attacks, not with fists, but with memory. Images rip through you, your sister crying when you left, your mother's still face at the funeral, the moment your father turned his back. It throws them at you like weapons. You stagger, heart clenching, not from injury, but shame. You breathe deep. You center yourself. You don't run from your past. You use it. With a roar, you ignite the energy coiled in your limbs. Your mark flares and you rush forward. Your other self blocks, deflects, counters, but this time you're not pulling back. You're not afraid of who you were. You twist the blast, slam it into its chest, and feel the illusion fracture. Glass shatters, light spills everywhere. When it fades, you're alone again, but different. The stone beneath your feet rises, lifting you slowly from the chamber like an offering. You're not the same person who walked in. Something inside you has cracked open, and from the fracture, something else has begun to rise. At the top of the platform, a gate opens without touch. Ahead lies another tunnel, not descending. This one climbs, and so do you. Your trial isn't over. It's just beginning. You step into the tunnel, each footfall a declaration. The mark on your chest still glows, no longer burning but pulsing steady like a second heartbeat. The passage is narrower here, carved from black stone, smooth and angled like it was sculpted by a blade instead of by time. You're moving upward, but there's no light from above, just a soft gleam of runes embedded in the walls, symbols you don't recognize, but that feel familiar. They flicker when you pass, reacting to something in your blood. The air changes again, thinner, drier. The scent of iron fades, replaced by something sharper, ozone, static, the warning scent before lightning strikes. You emerge into a high chamber shaped like a crescent. The walls are lined with tall, thin mirrors, each reflecting a distorted image of you. Some are too tall, some too wide, some missing features altogether. You move toward the center, where a dais floats inches above the floor, tethered to the ground by 3 beams of light. The voice returns, not from above, but from inside your skull. The path forward will cost you. You step onto the dais without hesitation. The chamber reacts. The mirrors ripple. Figures step through not twisted reflections this time, but memories given form. Your father, silent, distant. Your sister, afraid, angry. Yourself, younger, smaller, powerless. They don't speak. They just watch. You look away, but they follow your gaze. This isn't a battle of fists or fire. It's a confrontation of truth. One by one, the figures fade. The light beams retract. The dais descends. And you descend with it into another room. This one is colder. At its center stands a pedestal, holding a sealed urn carved with the same spiral that burns on your chest. Around it, statues 12 in all, faceless but positioned like sentinels. Each holds a weapon sword, bow, spear, chain, none match, none repeat. You step forward. The urn reacts, light threading through the grooves. Choose. The voice returns, deeper, sharper. You move to the statues, studying each one. Every weapon hums when your finger's near, like it's testing your presence, asking something without words. The chain feels cold, the bow too light, but the blade simple, curved. Weathered, it feels like memory, not recognition, but resonance. You reach out. As your hand closes around the hilt, the room shifts. The statues vanish, the walls drop. You're standing in a battlefield now, sand underfoot, wind howling. Opposite you stands a figure tall, armored, faceless. You don't wait, you run. The clash is brutal. The first strike knocks your stance loose. The second shatters the ground near your feet. You duck low, sweep the blade wide, catch its leg. Sparks fly, you keep moving. This enemy doesn't talk, doesn't falter. Every strike from you is matched with 2 from them. You're faster, but they're stronger. You're furious, but they're focused. Pain blooms in your ribs where a blow lands clean. You stagger, but plant your feet again. You won't fall here, not after coming this far. You press in harder, you bait a high strike, then roll under and drive your blade deep into the chink below their ribs. The armor cracks, the figure collapses, the battlefield dissolves. You're alone again, but not empty. You still hold the blade, and it no longer feels foreign. The urn reappears, and now it's open. From it rises a sphere of silver light. It floats to you, then sinks into your chest, no resistance, no pain, just heat and understanding. You've been given something, a fragment, a key, or a curse. You don't know yet which. The chamber darkens and a single path opens forward. You walk it without looking back, because behind you lies the part of yourself that doubted. And ahead, that's where the power waits. The corridor narrows again, forcing you to lower your head as stone presses from all sides. The ceiling feels too close, the path too quiet. You've faced shadows, fought illusions, withstood trials that bled your spirit, but this silence weighs more than all of them. Your steps echo with tension now, not pride. The further you move, the more you feel something watching, waiting, calculating your breath. You reach the next chamber like slipping through a needle's eye. It expands into a vast dome, lit not by torches or magic, but by a radiant blue sky. You freeze. There is no roof. Above you is sky, real or illusion, you can't tell. Clouds drift lazily and warm wind brushes against your cheek. It feels wrong after everything underground. Wrong, but beautiful. At the center of the chamber stands a single monolith, floating inches above a circle of glass. Ancient symbols spiral up its surface, and every few seconds, a strand of golden light threads down to the floor and vanishes. You approach slowly, each step cushioned by silence. When you reach the monolith, you raise your hand, and just as your fingers touch the edge, it speaks. Not in words, in memories. Your mind floods with images that aren't yours. Soldiers kneeling before thrones of light, cities crumbling beneath waves of silver flame, stars weeping from the sky like molten tears. You stagger, breath caught somewhere between awe and panic. And then you hear it, a voice like thunder behind glass. You are not the first. The monolith pulses. Images accelerate, heroes breaking, chosen ones failing, guardians consumed by the very power they sought to protect. You see each of them fall, swallowed by their own marks, their own spirals. You are not meant to survive. You are meant to awaken. You drop to one knee, not by choice. The weight of the visions crashes through your spine. Your arms tremble, your chest tightens. But your spirit, it flares. You grip the ground and force yourself upright. You won't collapse like the others. You didn't come this far to become another failed name on a forgotten wall. You grit your teeth and step forward. The glass under you cracks. The monolith lowers, bringing itself to your level. This time it offers something. Not power, not wisdom. A choice. 2 glyphs burn before you, one in the shape of a sword, one in the shape of a chain. You understand what they mean, even without explanation. Conquest or endurance. You choose the chain. The light disappears. The chamber collapses around you, sky folding in like paper catching fire. The warmth vanishes. You fall not physically, but through layers of yourself you didn't know existed. When you land, it's not on stone. It's on snow. Your lungs seize from the cold. Your limbs ache with the sudden freeze. You're standing on a frozen lake, bare feet against ice. And around you swirl ghosts made of frost and fog. They whisper your name, not your true one, the one you've never spoken aloud. You take a step forward and the ice cracks beneath you. Another step and the whispers rise. They're asking why you keep going, why you bear the mark, why you didn't stay behind. You ignore them. You walk across the cracking ice, each step deliberate. Pain blossoms in your legs, but you keep going. When you reach the center of the lake, the surface splits. From the depths rises a figure made of light and snow, crowned with antlers made of crystal. It doesn't speak, it kneels, and offers you its crown. You don't understand what it means, but you accept. The moment your hand touches the crown, heat returns. Not gentle, violent. It floods your limbs, roars into your chest, and you scream not in fear, but in release. Everything vanishes. You wake in darkness again, lying flat on stone. But something's changed. The mark on your chest no longer burns. It glows. And deep within, something ancient stirs, not as your enemy, but as your other half. You follow the next path, but something feels different this time. The air is still, heavier than before. The walls are smooth and darker, like the stone here has soaked in more than just silence. Every step feels like it's pulling you deeper into something you haven't prepared for. The corridor ends in a round chamber with no visible ceiling. The only thing in the room is a low pedestal in the center. It holds a black crystal wrapped in thin, rusted wire. It's small, but your pulse speeds up the moment you see it. You don't need instructions. You already know it's meant for you. You step closer and the pressure builds. The spiral mark on your chest tightens. Reacting to the presence of the crystal, you reach out, and the moment your fingers close around it, heat erupts through your palm. Your breath catches. You fall to one knee, but you don't let go. Images slam into your mind, sharp, raw, and personal. You're back in the training field. You're younger, slower, struggling. You watch as others pass you by. You hear your name whispered like it's a mistake, like it doesn't belong with the rest. Then come the memories of your sister, watching from the shadows, never speaking but always knowing. You grip the crystal harder. This isn't about power. It's about everything you tried to hide from. The chamber begins to change. 12 mirrors rise around you, evenly spaced in a circle. Each one shows a different version of you, some weaker, some broken. One is curled in the corner, refusing to stand. Another turns away from everything. They aren't just illusions, they're possibilities. Versions of you that never got this far. You take a long breath. You're not proud of them, but you don't hate them either. You walk past each mirror, eyes forward. You don't look away, but you don't stop either. When you reach the center of the room, the crystal dissolves into dust in your hand. It's gone, but the pain in your palm remains. Something else has taken its place. A new mark, uneven, jagged, and deep burns just below the original spiral. You stare at it. It doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like something you'll have to keep in check. It's power, but it's not stable, and it's not asking for your permission. The room darkens again, and a dull hum builds around you. A wall in front of you lights up. Dozens of moving glyphs swirl across its surface, but they're unstable. Glitches run through the symbols. flickering in and out like broken code. The mark on your chest begins to glow again, this time in conflict. You step forward and press your palm against the center glyph. It hits you like a wave. Your whole body locks up. Your vision pulses black and white. The two marks are fighting inside you, pulling your focus in opposite directions. One wants to control. The other wants to break free. You grit your teeth. Your legs shake. For a second, you feel like you're losing grip on everything. Then the struggle slows. Not because one side wins, but because they begin to settle. They don't agree, but they stop fighting. They balance just enough for you to breathe again. The light fades. The wall goes still. Your hand drops to your side, numb and cold. You take a step back, expecting the next door to open. It doesn't. Instead, the ceiling above shifts, and a narrow staircase begins to lower. The steps spiral upward into a thin column of light. No voice tells you what's coming. No vision warns you what's next. You just know it's time to move. So you start climbing, with your heart still pounding and your balance not fully restored. And as you rise, you can't ignore the new feeling in your chest. Not fear. Something more dangerous. Power without control. You step off the final stair and find yourself in a familiar corridor. The polished stone floors reflect the light of glowing sconces along the walls. There's no sign of dust or decay, no shadows creeping along the edges. This part of the trial isn't buried in ruins. It looks exactly like the upper levels of the academy. But something's wrong. It's too quiet. There are no footsteps echoing through the halls. No muffled voices behind closed doors. You walk slowly, the sound of your own breathing the only thing keeping you grounded. Every door you pass tugs at a memory. The lecture hall, where you first lost control. The sparring arena, where your opponent refused to shake your hand after you won. The corridor, where no one spoke to you for days. You reach the trial chamber. The doors are already open, as if they were expecting you. Inside, the arena is wide and circular, surrounded by carved pillars bearing the academy's crest. At the far side stands a single figure, hands folded behind his back, his robes sharp and unwrinkled. You recognize him immediately. He was the first to doubt your worth. The one who said you were carried here on your sister's accomplishments. The one who always made sure your failures were recorded, but your efforts were ignored. He turns when you step in, eyes scanning you like a puzzle. He still expects to collapse under pressure. You've survived the gauntlet, he says. Let's see what you've learned. You walk toward the center ring. The glyphs carved into the floor hum as your boots pass over them. Both of your marks react, the spiral glow steady and controlled, the jagged one pulsing unpredictably, like a heartbeat that's skipped too many beats. He doesn't wait. The moment you reach your position, a wave of compressed force slams toward you. You duck and roll to the side, landing hard but staying on your feet. Your counterattack is immediate, a flicker of energy cast wide across the floor. He blocks it easily, deflecting the blow with a twist of his wrist and a sharp glyph flare under his boots. You still hesitate, he says, stepping forward, still relying on borrowed instincts instead of mastering your own. You don't respond. You tighten your stance, center your weight, and call on both marks. The spiral provides control. The jagged mark lends raw power. Together, they surge through your limbs, unstable but potent. You rush him. He's ready, but so are you. Fists clash with force. Each movement is met with resistance. Every attack met with skill. He counters quickly, but you adjust faster than before. You're not trying to match him anymore. You're overwhelming him with unpredictability. He conjures a chain of defensive glyphs that spiral around his arm, launching them like whips. You twist, step between their rhythm, and throw a pulse of your own. It hits him in the chest. He staggers back a step. The smirk vanishes from his face. He throws everything he has now. Spells meant to pin, bind, and crush. You barely stay ahead, the marks inside you crackling with energy, pushing your reactions faster than your thoughts can keep up. You dodge a blast that shatters part of the ring and respond with a blow that lands against his shoulder, drawing a grunt of pain. Reckless, he spits, stepping back to regroup. You're not controlling it. You're just riding the edge. You keep advancing, sweat running down your face, arms trembling from the force you're channeling. But your focus doesn't waver. You've walked through shadows. You've bled in silence. This is just noise. You fake a retreat, forcing him to lunge. He takes the bait. You step sideways, bring your fist upward, and slam raw power into the base of his ribs. The glyph under his feet cracks. His defenses flicker. You don't give him a second. You drive a burst of jagged energy straight into his core. It lifts him off the ground and throws him backward. He hits the far wall hard and slumps to the ground. For a moment, he doesn't move. You breathe hard, chest rising and falling as the marks under your skin continue to pulse. They're no longer fighting each other. They're working together barely, but enough. The energy still surges through your body, but this time it listens. He groans and pushes himself up onto one knee. There's no smugness left in his voice. That power. You're not supposed to wield it like that. You wipe the sweat from your brow and keep your distance. You're not sure if the fight is over, but he doesn't get back up. You've become something else, he says, and you'll either survive it or you'll burn out like the rest. You don't wait for more. The far end of the room rumbles, and a section of the wall begins to slide open. Behind it, another passage waits, this one lined in cold steel and faint blue light. You take one last look at the instructor still on his knee. He doesn't try to stop you. He knows it would be pointless. You walk through the opening, and for the first time, you don't feel like you're chasing approval or proving anything to the ghosts of this place. You're walking forward because nothing ahead can possibly be worse than what you've already survived. And now, you're finally ready to take everything they said you couldn't. The staircase coils higher than it should, each step humming faintly beneath your boots. The air grows thinner as you climb, and the walls slowly give way to open sky. By the time you reach the top, the academy is no longer visible below, just endless blue above, and a circular platform suspended in air, ringed by shifting glyphs and lines of light that pulse with a rhythm matching your heartbeat. You step forward cautiously. The stone feels solid, but you can sense the weight of something watching. At the center stands a lone figure in a high-collared cloak, face hidden beneath a bird-like mask. He doesn't speak, doesn't move. Yet you know without question this isn't just another opponent. This is the Watcher, the one they whisper about in unfinished tales, where the strongest challengers either passed or vanished. You stop a few paces from the center, waiting for him to make the first move. He simply raises one hand. The ground fractures beneath you, a ring of pressure blasting outward. You leap sideways just in time, boots scraping stone, body low as the energy shoots past. Before you land fully, another force crashes down, distorting the air and cracking the platform's edge. You channel power instinctively. The spiral mark floods your limbs with clarity, the jagged one surging raw strength through your chest. You twist the magic into a barrier and brace for impact as his next strike slams into it, rattling your bones but failing to break through. He still hasn't spoken. You don't need him to. You charge him with both marks ignited, pushing forward in bursts of controlled chaos. Your footwork holds, barely, as you shift directions mid-sprint and fire off a volley of force shaped like needles. He redirects them with a flick of his wrist, sending the last one careening into the sky. You press in closer. He reacts with precision, meeting your assault with a smooth counter that sends your left arm numb. You pivot and retaliate with a spinning blast aimed at his core. It lands, staggering him slightly, and a visible crack forms on his mask. He recovers quickly, but it's enough. You know now he's not invincible. The battle escalates without warning. He conjures mirages from thin air. You see your sister across the ring, hear her voice calling your name in fear. You hesitate for just a moment before shaking it off, grounding yourself in the heat radiating from your skin and the throb of power beneath it. You let the illusion fade and focus again on the one thing that's real him. You shift into close range, ducking under an arc of compressed energy. The marks inside you pulse in tandem, not in conflict, but in a shaky, uneasy cooperation. You slide across the ground, build momentum, and strike upward with a punch wrapped in pure force. He raises an arm to block, but your power breaks through. The blast sends him backward several paces, and this time, he struggles to maintain his footing. You don't let him recover. Your body screams with fatigue, every muscle strained and burning, but the surge of magic carries you. You leap again, fists drawn back, and bring down the combined might of both marks in a single, spiraling impact. The force explodes outward, cracking the ground in a wide arc and hurling your opponent away. You land hard, knees shaking, lungs pulling in air that tastes faintly of metal and storm. The platform trembles beneath you, runes flickering, the last echo of your strike still vibrating in your bones. You rise slowly, eyes fixed ahead, heart hammering, but he's no longer there. The center of the arena is empty now. There are no signs of a body, no sound of footsteps, only the faint hum of shifting glyphs and the wind high above the world. Then, the light around the platform begins to change. A ring of energy traces the ground around you, pulling into focus. From above, something begins to descend, neither enemy nor ally, but something else entirely. You steady yourself, uncertain whether to prepare for battle or embrace the unknown. Whatever waits in the next chamber, you know one thing. You didn't just survive the Watcher. You proved you belong at the center of this trial. And you're not done rising yet. You don't remember stepping into the next chamber, but you feel the shift the moment it happens. The floating platform fades behind you, replaced by a vast enclosed space, lit from above by a soft, steady glow. The walls are smooth and seamless, metallic but not cold. There's no visible door, no sign of where you entered or how you'll leave. Only a large circular platform at the center and a pedestal that waits in silence. You approach slowly, senses still heightened from the last battle. The marks on your body pulse faintly, not with urgency, but with quiet anticipation, like they know what's coming. The pedestal rises as you near, responding to your presence. It's covered in shallow carvings, symbols that mirror both the spiral and jagged mark. Two halves of something that still hasn't quite fused. A voice speaks, not aloud, but inside your head. It doesn't sound human, not commanding, not cruel, just clear. Sacrifice what anchors you. Keep only what carries. You flinch, instinctively reaching for your side, where the weight of the old pendant rests. It's not magical, not powerful, just a piece of the past. A gift from your sister before the trials began. You remember her hands, trembling slightly when she gave it to you. The way she smiled, even as she pretended not to be afraid. You close your hand around it now. The voice doesn't repeat the command. It doesn't have to. You know this isn't just a test of strength. It's a test of choice. What you're willing to leave behind. Your fingers tighten around the pendant. For a moment, you consider hiding it, slipping it back under your tunic, pretending you didn't hear the voice at all. But the marks on your arms react instantly. Heat floods your limbs. The jagged one burns in protest. The spiral hums louder. You realize then it's not about the pendant. It's about what it represents. The fear of losing who you were before all this began. You step forward and place it on the pedestal. The reaction is immediate. The chamber pulses with light, and the ground beneath you shakes gently, not in warning, but in recognition. A portion of the wall slides open, revealing a staircase descending into shadow. No fanfare, no approval, just a path. You take one last look at the pedestal. The pendant is gone. You feel its absence immediately, not as pain, but as weight removed. And in its place, something else stirs within you. The jagged mark dulls, calms. The spiral grows steadier. The space between them narrows. You exhale slowly and begin the descent. The steps are smoother than the last. The air cools, but not unpleasantly. You feel more grounded now, more certain of the power pulsing in your blood. Not because of the sacrifice, but because you made it willingly. At the bottom of the staircase, another door waits. This one doesn't open on its own. A sigil glows faintly above it, one you haven't seen before, curved lines layered over broken runes. A symbol of duality, maybe of fusion. You reach out, and the moment your hand touches the sigil, the marks on your body ignite. Not with pain, with purpose. The door opens, and the next trial begins. The new chamber is darker than the last, not pitch black, but layered in shadows that move with the flickering torchlight lining the walls. The stone here is rougher, cracked in places, like this part of the trial has aged beyond the rest. You step in slowly, senses sharpened, every nerve on edge. The door closes behind you with a soft click, cutting off the light from above. All that remains is the orange glow ahead and a deep, steady thrum vibrating through the ground. It's not mechanical, it's alive. You move forward, following the sound, until the path widens into a cavernous space carved by hand or something far stronger than hand tools. Massive pillars stretch to a ceiling you can't see, and the air smells of sulfur and damp earth. At the center lies the source of the vibration, a beast massive, quadrupedal, covered in hardened plates of dark obsidian-like shell. Its breathing is heavy and slow, steam rising with each exhale. Even from this distance, you feel the weight of its presence pressing down on your chest. This isn't a summoned creature or an illusion. It's real, and it's guarding something. Behind it stands a sealed gate, marked with runes that glow in the same pattern as your spiral mark. The meaning is clear. This is the final gate of the lower trials. To move forward, you don't need to destroy the creature, but you must get past it. The jagged mark pulses eagerly, pushing you toward confrontation. The spiral one hums with restraint, reminding you that force isn't always the only answer. You clench your fists and scan the room, heart beating harder now. The beast hasn't moved, but its eyes are open. It's waiting for you to make the first mistake. You consider your options. Rushing in would trigger a direct fight, one that could cost you more than just strength. But there's space columns, shadowed alcoves, uneven terrain. You might be able to get around it. You take a slow breath, calming the energy in your limbs, and step to the side. The beast lifts its head. Not aggressive, curious. You freeze, letting your heartbeat slow. It watches, then lowers its head again, steam rising from its nostrils. You edge toward the left, staying in the shadows. The runes on your skin dim, as if syncing with your intent. Then, a soft click beneath your foot. A pressure plate. Before you can react, the beast roars a low, thunderous bellow that shakes the chamber and sends dust pouring from above. It charges, massive limbs pounding the stone, and you're forced to abandon stealth in an instant. You roll sideways, just ahead of its snapping jaws, and launch a pulse of energy at the ground to push yourself backward. You land hard, grit biting into your palms, but you're already moving again. The beast turns with surprising speed, claws digging deep gouges into the floor. You can't outmuscle it, not for long, but you can outthink it. You dart behind a pillar, Then use the spiral mark to mask your presence for a split second, just long enough to draw it away from the gate. The creature takes the bait, slamming its bulk into the column and sending cracks spidering up the stone. You sprint in the opposite direction, angling toward the gate. Another roar, it's on you again before you can reach it. You twist, hurling a burst of magic that strikes its shoulder and forces it to slow. Not stop just enough for you to dash beneath its body and slide to the far end of the room. The gate responds the moment your palm hits the center rune. The beast screeches behind you, claws scraping closer. The runes flare, light engulfs you, and you vanish through the gate just as the beast lunges, jaws snapping shut on empty air. The world pulls itself back together in silence. You're standing in a space unlike any you've seen before. No stone, no metal, no walls, just blackness. But not empty. It hums softly, like it's waiting. Your boots rest on something solid, but when you look down, you see nothing, just your own reflection, stretching into the dark beneath your feet. A voice calls out, your own. But it's not a memory. It's not echoing something you said. It's speaking now. You're not strong enough. The words strike with more weight than they should, because part of you still believes them. You breathe slowly, trying to separate your thoughts from what's being projected. But the voice shifts again, this time closer. A second you steps out from the dark, dressed in the same academy gear, same marks pulsing faintly across the skin. Only this version of you looks calmer, colder, certain. It speaks again. You hesitate. You cling to people who slow you down. You chase strength, but refuse to give up the things that keep you weak. You clench your jaw, fists tightening at your sides. The false you circles slowly, voice never rising. It doesn't need to. You could burn the world and build something better, but you're still playing hero, still holding on to old promises, old faces, old fears. You lunge without warning. The fight is immediate. Every strike you throw is countered. Every move you try mirrored. It's not just your skills you're up against. It's your instincts, your reflexes, your worst fears. You slip once and the double slams you into the unseen ground, pressing your face to the void. You're not ready. The words crawl into your ear like poison. You grit your teeth and shove upward, breaking free. The marks on your arms flare, not just reacting, but resisting. You feel them pull together just for a moment, as if finally working in tandem. You press that power outward. The ground cracks, the reflection shatters, your double disappears. The chamber responds instantly. A soft pulse ripples through the air, and a staircase rises ahead, lit by soft blue light. You're breathing hard, chest tight, but you're still standing. The voice is gone. But its question isn't, what are you willing to give up to become who you're meant to be? You don't answer, you walk forward. The final chamber doesn't welcome you with chaos. It greets you with silence. The space is vast, circular, and brighter than anything you've seen in the trials so far. White light pours from crystal panels lining the walls, each one etched with intricate runes that hum faintly as you enter. At the center, a raised platform stands surrounded by 6 thrones, empty, massive, each carved with a different elemental crest. Flame, storm, void, steel, wind, and shadow. The moment your foot touches the central stone, the air thickens. Each throne ignites not with fire, but with presence. Figures appear, not fully formed, more like memories carved from light. Their armor shifts with each movement, ancient yet unfamiliar, and their faces stay hidden beneath glowing veils. You feel them looking at you, not your body, but everything beneath it. Your choices, your doubts, your power. Their voices don't echo, they land directly in your mind. You've chased strength, one says, but will you be consumed by it? You've protected others, another intones, but at what cost to yourself? You survived, you adapted, but are you ready to lead? The questions come from all directions, overlapping like waves. You're not given time to answer, because they already know everything. They're not testing knowledge, they're weighing your soul. Then, without warning, the ground gives way. You're falling, no scream, no wind, just the sensation of being pulled through light. When you land, it's not with pain, but finality. A new platform catches you, smooth stone surrounded by nothing. The light above dims until you're standing in a void, once again no thrones, no voices. Just 2 paths that split from the stone beneath your feet. To the left, a trail of violent power, flickering with uncontrolled force. The jagged mark on your arm glows, reacting instantly, urging you to step forward, to burn through anything that stands in your way. To the right, a slower pulse, steady, grounded. The spiral mark responds with warmth and restraint, calling you to move with purpose, not fury. For a moment, you hesitate, but only for a moment. You extend your hands, not to choose, but to merge. The 2 marks burn brighter, not in conflict, but in union. And then the explosion comes not destructive, but transformative. The light floods outward, tearing through the void. In a flash, you see the gates of the upper academy. The challengers still behind you, and the unknown waiting ahead. But more than that, you feel it. Your power isn't borrowed anymore. It's yours. The platform begins to rise, slowly, purposefully. The light shifts around you, not blinding, but revealing. The trial isn't ending. It's evolving. You're no longer being tested. You're being watched. And somewhere far above, beyond these walls and trials and illusions, something ancient is stirring, something that knows your name and knows you've survived. You don't know what waits on the next level, but you know it won't wait quietly. The silence after the trial isn't comforting. It wraps around you like a second skin, too tight to relax in. You walk back to your quarters alone, every step echoing down corridors that now feel unfamiliar. Faces pass by, but no one meets your eye. The fight with Virex did more than just disrupt expectations, it disrupted the system, and systems don't like being shaken. Inside your room, the air feels different, tense. The console blinks with a notification. Processing complete, new placement assigned. You hesitate before opening it. There's no explanation, no congratulatory message, just a line of text. Temporary reassignment, level X. Observation phase. You stare at it for a long moment, heart beating in slow, deliberate thuds. Level X isn't mentioned in any handbook. You've never heard of students being sent there. It's not a promotion, it's something else entirely. Something meant to isolate. You move through the academy with fresh eyes. The halls that once buzzed with activity seem colder now, watched. The students you pass seem to shift aside more quickly, as if your presence carries weight they don't want to bear. At mealtime, the dining hall is quiet when you arrive. You take your tray, sit alone, no one joins you. Conversations lower when you walk past. You sense it clearly now, distance, not fear. Something more cautious, like everyone's been told to treat you as unstable, unpredictable. The whispers grow louder when the black-badged messenger arrives. He says nothing, just hands you a new access band and walks off. The message on it reads, authorized corridor access, use immediately. You finish eating, stand up, and walk out. The corridor it leads you to is one you've never noticed before, narrow, metal-lined, dimly lit. You swipe the band. A door slides open, and the temperature drops the second you step inside. This place isn't part of the regular academy structure. It's deeper, older. The air smells faintly metallic, like machinery left running underground for too long. Lights flicker to life as you walk, guiding you down a path that feels less like a hallway and more like a trial. At the end, a chamber opens. No crowd, no instructions.